Carousell is a marketplace for online buyers and sellers. The platform started in 2012 and primarily had listings of second-hand goods. Its founders envisioned a community-driven marketplace. Early news of investors fueled Carousell's initial hype, which could have been a mad rush based on the herd mentality rather than careful analysis. Carousell's initial focus on peer-to-peer engagement attempted a sense of community. This approach was different from more corporate online marketplaces. However, despite its expansion, Carousell struggled to become profitable. Its revenues struggled to outpace its soaring costs. A diverse range of products were hosted. Yet it faced numerous challenges monetizing from the start, hindering its long-term success. Despite its rapid user growth, the platform faced significant hurdles. Financial struggles were a constant challenge for Carousell. The founders remained optimistic, but the road ahead was fraught with difficulties. Carousell's rapid growth came at a cost. Scammers began to exploit the platform's trust-based system. Reports of fraudulent activities, from counterfeit goods to phishing scams, surged. Users expressed growing concern over the platform's safety. The once thriving community began to show cracks. One user shared her experience of purchasing a supposedly brand new phone. Upon receiving the package, she discovered a cheap imitation. Despite reporting the incident, she received no support from Carousell. Recently, a 38-year-old man in Singapore was arrested for tricking buyers into paying for Lululemon products he never delivered, pocketing over $700 before disappearing. These stories became increasingly common, eroding user confidence in the platform. Adding fuel to the fire, Carousell suffered major data breaches. Millions of user details were compromised, including personal information and financial data. These breaches highlighted Carousell's inadequate security measures. Authorities launched investigations questioning Carousell's data protection practices. The breaches had severe consequences for both users and the company. Affected users faced an increased risk of identity theft and financial fraud. Carousell incurred hefty fines and faced significant reputational damage. The company's claims of prioritizing user privacy were called into question. Carousell even had to halt Taylor Swift concert ticket sales due to rampant fraud potential. Its anti-scam measures have been deemed the worst among 6 e-commerce platforms by the Singapore Inter-Ministry Committee on Scams. Amidst the growing crisis, Carousell faced significant data breaches in 2022. The company was fined $58,000 for 2 major breaches. One incident exposed the personal data of over 44,000 users, while another saw 2.6 million users' data put up for sale on the dark web, unbeknownst to Carousell until notified. Hong Kong's privacy watchdog issued an enforcement notice demanding improved data security practices. These breaches further tarnished Carousell's reputation and raised serious concerns about the company's commitment to user safety and security. The consequences of Carousell's failures were felt most acutely by its users. Victims of scams faced financial losses and emotional distress. They felt betrayed by a platform they once trusted. The data breaches left many feeling vulnerable and exposed. The erosion of trust in Carousell had a ripple effect. It fueled a broader conversation about the responsibility of tech companies. Users began questioning the ethics of platforms that prioritized profit over user well-being. Carousell became a cautionary tale of unchecked growth and its potential consequences. In 2022, Carousell's losses widened by 57% due to increased expenses. Talks of an IPO and a merger with El Caterton Asia acquisition fizzled out. Carousell's downfall can be attributed to a series of critical missteps by its founders. The platform's rapid expansion outpaced its ability to implement robust security measures. Their focus on growth seemed to come at the expense of user safety. The lack of adequate content moderation allowed scams to proliferate. Furthermore, Carousell's response to the growing crisis was often slow and inadequate. Reports of scams were met with generic responses and a lack of tangible action. The data breaches exposed a lax attitude towards data security. These failures painted a picture of a company that had lost sight of its core values. The founders' inability to address key issues and adapt to the changing market cast serious doubt on their capability to lead the company effectively. In 2022, the company faced significant layoffs, cutting 110 positions. User experience complaints also added to its troubles, with some encountering paywalls that hindered communication with potential buyers unless they subscribed to a premium paid service. The Carousell saga exposed the inadequacies of existing regulations governing online marketplaces. The patchwork of laws across different countries created loopholes for scammers to exploit. The lack of clear guidelines on data security left users vulnerable. The case for stronger regulations became increasingly clear. Governments and regulatory bodies began exploring measures to hold online platforms accountable for user safety and data protection. The need for a more comprehensive and proactive approach to tech governance became evident. The road ahead for Carousell is, well, quite a challenging one. The company faces an uphill battle to regain user trust and salvage its reputation. To address its shortcomings, decisive action is necessary, including investing heavily in robust security measures and content moderation. Beyond just technical fixes, Carousell needs to rebuild its relationship with its users. This requires transparent communication, accountability for past mistakes, and a genuine commitment to prioritize user safety going forward. Only time will tell if Carousell can ever succeed. Carousell's inability to be a stable, profitable business serves as a cautionary tale for the wide-eyed tech founder wannabes. It underscores the importance of not just trying to emulate platforms that are found in the US, but to also come up with actual innovative technology. Rapid growth cannot come at the expense of ethical considerations and sound business acumen, which the founders lack. The incident highlights the need for strong business fundamentals, not just a dream to be the next big startup. Users should have a safe and well-moderated experience, not the Wild West. Platforms must be held responsible for the content they host and the transactions they facilitate. The Carousell story raises fundamental questions about why it was funded in the first place. Was it a mad rush to just prop up a company that looked fashionable? How can we ensure that these platforms are safe, trustworthy, and equitable for everyone? Finding the right balance will require true inspired innovation, good business acumen, and a desire to better the lives of users, not just to be poster boys. It demands a shift in mindset from prioritizing the need to look trendy to embracing a more sustainable and ethical approach to technology. As consumers increasingly rely on online platforms for various aspects of their lives, the Carousell case serves as a stark reminder of how companies need to innovate in order to survive. We need to demand more from tech companies to be innovators and not just copycats. We must be vigilant in protecting ourselves online. This includes being aware of potential scams and practicing safe online habits. The future of the internet depends on our collective efforts to embrace new technologies like AI, do away with uninspired business models, and to create a safer and more trustworthy space for all.